So when we learn to teach on Zoom, the hardest part of teaching is Zoom. So once we get everybody laid out and muted and the recording on, all of a sudden, we too can lay back. So onto your back. Maybe constructive rest pose right now. Just let the knees knock in together, the feet go wide. It allows the low back to just relax. Elevate the heart, lift the heart, and maybe support the head. And let's just arrive. Hand to the belly, ribs, heart space, just to feel the life within you, right? So as you breathe in, recognize that under your palms. And as you breathe out and everything settles, take a moment to recognize, acknowledge, and be thankful. So another deep breath in. Fill the whole body with that prana. And just release. Let the body settle to this mat, to this practice. This is yoga. Yes, it's a core class, but it's still yoga. And yoga, breath, body, mind, union, right? Take a couple deep breaths. Feel the body. Release the mind, let it follow the breath. And notice the spirit. Nothing more. It's the greatest yoga practice ever. Mind, body, spirit. Two more breaths. And then begin to heel toe the feet to the center of your mat. Maybe lower the block. If you're using a block, just maybe lower it another level so that there's a little bit more opening through the chest, a little more breath in. And Annie can't join us, Ann Hansen. She apologized this morning. So I said, okay, I'm going to dedicate this one to her. It's not my best, but my core practice energy is going to her. So hands, the heel of the hands to the hip crease. Squeeze the shoulder blades under. Tuck the chin in. And just to scan here, let's just raise the fingertips up towards the knees. As you lift the shoulders and the head off of your mat. And then slowly glide the hands back down to the hip crease. So just a couple sweeps here. Lifting the head, lifting the shoulders, sliding the hands. Notice what's happening in the back body. Notice what's happening in the front body, right? And then lower back down. So this is going to be your guide as you slide up. Maybe whatever's underneath your shoulders needs to be lowered or lifted. Okay, because we want that inversion. We want the head lower than the heart. So take one more, reach, 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 and then come back. And then just adjust whatever is under those shoulder blades. Because as we come down and we do this 4-part count, right? We want the head lower. Oh, and we want to still be able to breathe. So now interlace behind the head. Let the elbows go wide. Open up that space from elbow to elbow across the chest. Notice any constriction in the breath. Maybe as you inhale and exhale, you just Soften through the chest, or maybe, like me, you get up and you just adjust the height underneath your shoulders. And then as we come back down and the elbows go wide, the feet are parallel, the thighs are parallel. Take a deep breath. And as you draw in the belly, maybe a slight tuck into the pelvis. Full deep breath in. And again, core class is the same. We gaze at the ceiling. We don't gaze at our device, right? Just to protect the neck. So interlace behind the head. Lift the elbows to the ceiling. Take in a full breath. Draw in the belly. Come up halfway. Exhale. Curl yourself in, shortening that space from the hip to the low rib. And then slowly come back halfway with the inhale and exhale, release. So we're not pulling on the head. You can always use a towel as a hammock. So inhale, we come up half. Exhale, we curl in, shoulders lifting towards the knees. Come back halfway and lower down. Let's take 5. Draw the belly in. Inhale, up, half. Curl in, back, half, and down. Gaze to the ceiling, not to your device. And just make the movement. It's a 4 count. Inhaling half. Exhaling, curl. Inhaling back. And exhaling to release. 3 more. Smooth it out now. But follow the breath. Easy when we're doing core work to hold the breath. Last one. And when you're on your last one, come back down. Open up the elbows. Open up the chest. Taking a full breath. Now, if that was good for you, I want you to continue. If you want to up it just a little bit, we'll do the crossover, elbow to knee. It's the same 4 count movement, but we're just going to cross over the bottom. So again, elbows wide. Enjoy that full expanse. Take the elbows to the ceiling, draw the belly in breath, come up halfway. Exhale, one knee comes up and the elbow reaches. Come back halfway, lower down. Inhale, cross. Exhale, and up and over, back and down. So we're not bringing the knee towards the head. That's kind of like cheating. We're bringing the elbow, reaching for that knee and back down. So try and keep the knee over the hip and reach for the knee. Say 2 more. Use your breath. Up, breathe, exhale, and down. When you come down, open up the elbows. Taking a full deep breath. Lots of space here to take that breath in because the chest is open. One more full breath. And then roll over to one side, and we're just going to remove the towel or whatever you're using underneath you. Roll it back up if it got kind of smushed. And set it right to the side for a moment. And let's take a full body stretch here. Stretch the legs out long. arms overhead. Maybe a couple twists into the shoulders, one direction and the other. Just kind of feel into the body. Big stretch, and then come back and plant the feet. This time, arms beside the body, the palms are down. Just take a moment. Tilt the pelvis up just a bit so you can feel the low back, and from the low back all the way up the spine. And we kind of like a squeeze in the shoulders to release the shoulder tips. Good. So setting yourself up here. Taking a full deep breath. And with the arms beside the body, we're going to press into the heels. We're going to press into the arms and take the bridge pose. So as you lift the hips up, roll the weight onto the head and the neck. Roll the weight to the shoulder tips. So taking a full breath here. There's no constriction, right? And if there is, lower down. Send the weight down just a bit. But just notice, as you lift the hips, let the weight sit on the shoulders. Head is relaxed. There's no weight. There's no constriction any further. Take a couple breaths here. Maybe lift the hips a little higher, opening up the whole front body. Opening up the whole back body, a very passive back bend. And just notice that your knees are not splaying out, right? We're just doing this long line. One more full breath here. And then the towel or the bolster or the block. Grab that. Kind of place it so that when you lower your hips down, you land on the sacrum. And if you don't land on the sacrum, just adjust here. So there's this little shelf that should feel good. The belly draws in, shoulders soften. Bring the legs up to that tabletop position. Flex the feet, keep the knees right over the hip points. So that's the beauty of the towel or the bolster underneath you. You're not taking this in the low back. So it's the curvature. So just a heel tap or two. So here we go. One heel lowers, slow, and then drag it back up. And then the opposite heel lowers. And as slow as you can, bring it back up. So just take a couple and just notice, where are you feeling it? Are you feeling it in your back? Maybe adjust your towel or your bolster. Are you feeling it in your quads? Where you should be feeling it is right between the hip points. So if you bring your fingertips into the very low, just above the pelvis, just notice what's happening there as you go heel to heel. One more each side. And then relax and just draw the knees into the chest. And again, with that bolster or towel underneath you, let the hips rise. Maybe take a rock, a really nice low back stretch. So if our core is weak, our back wants to engage and take over. So just be mindful of that. Bring the feet back down. Now we're going to take the legs up one at a time, nice and slow, towards the ceiling. Again, they're stacked right over their hip points. The back is supported. You draw the belly in. Notice again any clenching in the jaw or the shoulders. And we're just going to heel tap here. So lowering down, one heel at a time. And then again, pull it back up. Use all those muscles that you might feel between those hips. And then lower the other leg. So we use the breath to kind of energize those muscles as you alternate heel to heel. And again, we do it mindfully so that we can feel everything that has to happen to make this movement. And then we breathe to give that life to those muscles, right? A couple more. All right, finish your last rotation. Draw the knees back in, hug them in, roll the spine. Now the next sequence is legs together. So, and this is the hardest one for me. So you be mindful of you, right? Legs extend up. We bring the big toe mounds together, the heels together, the knees, everything's like one leg. Draw the belly in. Maybe hold on to the side of your mat for leverage. And as you're ready, both heels lower. But draw that belly in, tuck that pelvis. I can only come down a third and then pull it back up. So flexing those feet, let the heels lead the way. And you do you, right? So don't take it in the back. Feel where in your belly, maybe the fingertips here, feel where you're working. And then breathe. Couple more. And know, you can always put those knees in and just relax. Sometimes if we're doing yard work or overtaxing our back muscles, this can be a little difficult. So one more if you've got it. Nice. Okay. Knees draw in. Relax. Curl in the tailbone. Let that lower back just kind of curl and find some space. And then draw the feet back to that bridge position. Take a deep breath. Lift the hips into that bridge. Let the weight transfer to the shoulders. And pause there. Squeeze in the glutes here. Knees straight back, not splayed open here. And then whatever you have underneath you, just slide it off to the side. Pause here in your bridge. Notice what you notice. Front body, back body, passive back bend, glutes, quads. And then it's all connected here. So just feel it and then lower it. You can curve the spine down or you can come down nice and straight. Just take it slow. Arriving, let the hip points level out. Feel into the spine. Heel toe the feet to the side of the mat and just take a windshield wiper. Notice how that feels in the hips and in the low back. Kind of look around to see if your block is there. And then heel toe the feet back. Extend the legs long. Take a big stretch. Fingers to the toes. And then relax down. Grab the block. Take the block into the hands. Again, stretch it long. Draw in the belly here. So we're going to do past the block. So block is long. Take a full breath. Draw that belly in to support the spine. And as you're ready, lift it up. So legs over the hips, shoulders and head off the mat to pass the block. And then slowly lower back down. Stretch it out. And here we go. Big breath. Lift the legs, pass the block to the hands, and slowly lower back down. Stretch it out. Big breath, belly in. Up goes the shoulders and the head. More important, shoulders and head, right? Those legs are not coming to meet your head. And then lower back down. It would be nice if they did, but up, grab the block and lower. Now, if you're feeling this in your low back, remember the modification. Come back to those tabletop legs and just pass the block there so that the low back doesn't arch, right? Wherever you are, let's do two more. Again, the goal is lift the upper body to meet feet. That's okay. Bend the knees, take the block off just to the side for a moment. Bring the knees into the chest. Take a rock, hip point to hip point. Nice massage across the very low back. Bring the legs back to tabletop, knees over to hip point. Take the block longwise from the knees down through the calves. We're going to squeeze the block. Again, tabletop position, the belly comes in, squeeze that block. Your arms can be out, cactus, or out to the side, or gripping your mat. Take in that breath and draw in that belly, and side to side, squeeze the block, hover to the right. Inhale, squeeze the block as you come back to center, level the hips. Squeeze the block, take it to the other side. So with your breath and your movement, keep that belly in to support the spine. And just take it side to side. Keep squeezing the block. Allow the whole upper body here to be soft. And the breath to be fluid. Maybe two more each side. Squeeze that block. That just engages all the pelvic muscles here. And then we'll meet back at center. We'll just pause there. So maybe readjust your block, maybe drawing your knees, whatever you're feeling. If you don't want it in the back. Come back to your tabletop. Position your block. Now we're going to hover and hold. So you only come down as far as you can sustain for 2 breaths here. So draw in the belly. Tilt in that pelvis so the low back is protected. Arms in any position. As you're ready, breath in. Take the legs over to the right. Squeeze the block. Find your place. Hold and hover. Take a full deep breath in. Squeeze that block. Slow breath out. Relax the shoulders and the jaw. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. On your inhale, use that core. Bring the block back to center and pause. Level out the hips. Feel into the low back. If you need a little squeeze of the knees, take it. Then come back to that table position. Big breath in, slight tilt in the pelvis. That belly is tucked nice and tight. And here we go. Big, take the breath. Exhale. Take the block and the knees over to the left. Any amount. Hold and hover. Squeeze the blocks. Same time, just notice the upper body. There is no wasted energy right here. It's all soft. So take one breath in and out. One more deep breath in. Squeeze that block. And then draw the knees back up to center and just pause. Take the block. Set it to the side. Knees into the chest, take a rock, right and left. And then we're going to just roll ourselves over onto hands and knees. So you guys know as you arrive, stack the joints, spread the fingers so that you can feel the palms. I'm going to tuck my toes because we're going to go into forearm plank. But tuck your toes and see if you can just kind of set some weight down into those toes, into the balls of the feet. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 thing. Press into your palms, find some roundness through the shoulders, scoop in the belly, and then on your own, find your cat and cow. So whether it's lifting the tailbone and the heart, and tucking the chin and rounding, whether it's coming from that neutral position to kind of gaze off to the right or to the left, or whether it's making movement like taking the hips back towards the heels and bringing it up as you round up. So your cat and cow this morning, just to feel into the spine. And then bring yourself back to that neutral table. A deep breath in. Lift the heart space. One hand at a time. So I'm going to lead with my right. Right hand's going to go forward. I'm going to press my forearm down. My elbow is going to be right underneath my shoulder. Same thing with the left. Hand comes down, forearm down. So here I form the number 11 with the forearms. Stretch my fingers wide. Maybe take a moment to even work those fingers out. But press them down. Right leg steps back onto the ball of its foot. The left leg steps back. So here we do. We lower down. We press into the forearms. We press into the elbows. Send the heels back. Lift the heart forward. Gaze between your hands. For me, I always say I like to clasp my hands. It just feels like I have a little more strength. So wherever you are, again, engage your core. This is every muscle in your body holding up your weight. Notice your breath. Always know you can lower to your knees. Lift the chest, send the heels back. Couple breaths here. Maybe if you feel strong today, you plank. You come up higher on the toes and you press back further on the heels. So a little bit of movement in your forearm plank. Depends on how you feel. Otherwise, just hold and breathe. We're here for 5 more breaths. Belly's engaged. Gaze straight down, don't drop the head. Heels back, chest lifts. 2 more breaths. And slowly drop the hip points down, untuck the toes. If your hands are interlaced, bring them back to that number 11. Press the palms into the mat, drag them towards you so that the chest is moving towards the top of the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades and just enjoy a stretch from the belly button to the sternum. Take a full breath. Stack the palms. Rest the head on top of your hand pillow. Send the elbows as wide as you can so that the chest can just release down. And then take a moment to maybe shimmy out the hips. Just release all those low back muscles. Lift the soles of the feet to the ceiling. Take a moment, maybe windshield wiper back and forth. Drop the soles of the feet back to the mat. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders. Press your way back from table all the way to your child's pose. So knees together, knees wide, your choice. Take a moment, take the hands as far forward as you can. This is a stretch now from the tailbone all the way through the fingers. So as you inhale, breathe into the whole back body. As you exhale, settle the whole back body onto the thighs, but reach through those fingers. And feel the stretch. Fingers, shoulders, through the spine. Deep breath in. In. Draw the hands back beside the body, maybe the palms up. The head rests on a blanket or your block or your mat. Tuck in the chin. Find some length in the neck. Find some length here with the whole spine. But more importantly, let the shoulders kind of droop in and the body relaxes. And this, my friends, is your core press. I'll see you tomorrow for hips and hammies with our jammies. Namaste.